get an opportunity to listen to Dawah, right? Because I don't want them to, we didn't want them to be coming on the day of judgment and telling us, well, these people were in this campus and they didn't give us Dawah. You know what I mean? So, what kind of answers to it? So, those are the type of different Dawahs that you get. Also, Dawah to the internet, right? Those are many different types of Dawahs. This is the Dawah that we're going to talk about here. There's this one, and actually it's the third one, which is, you guys, it's like street Dawah, but or Dawah. Or there's also pamphlet pushing too. Who's famous in giving pamphlets out amongst the Muslims, Dawah organizations?
Why is it?
Why Islam, right? Why Islam, you open the house at the masjid, all these different things. Alhamdulillah, I see we had an open house in the masjid. It went really well, and we had a lot of people to talk to. So it went really well. This witness patch we can make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthens the Dawah committee for IFC. Giving Dawah to groups. First, before we start, any questions? Any questions that we have at all? Not at all? Okay, thank you. I did a really horrible job, but I did a really good job. So we'll go from saying that I did a really good job because I need my motivation for the rest of the class. Thank you. Group Dawah, giving a talk or a lecture in a group of people. Some of the things that you want to keep in mind when you give a group talk is that it should be on one subject. Okay? So if you're going to be giving a group talk to say on Jesus, and make sure that your talk is always on Jesus and it doesn't go anything away from that. Okay? So one example that we had in Washington D.C., we had an Earth Day convention. Earth Day, we have this place called the mall. It's like a huge field. So in Earth Day, we had the benefit of being in Washington D.C., which is like nation's capital, right? So if anybody wants to say anything, they might always want to come to the nation's capital and say whatever they would say. So the Earth Day in Washington D.C. every year is huge. It's like 300,000 or 400,000 people come from all across the country, right? So the biggest, cults, all these cults from the Christians, they all come there. They try to pick up people and all these different things. So what we did is one year we had the Earth Day convention. Is we went there, we went to the mall, and what we did was we didn't have money, right? So we didn't have money, and really, to be honest, a lot of us are kind of unorganized and stuff. And people who work with me, they know what I'm talking about, right? So obviously we didn't have anything booked, we didn't have no rules, we didn't have anything like that, right? So we're like, we have 300,000 people here. So how do we get Dawah? So we just took our little Dawah bag, not like this, but we have messenger bags, right? So that's the Dawah that works for us. So we'll put a messenger bag, we take a messenger bag, put some pamphlets on there. And by the way, these messenger bags are not that heavy. So you would think, oh, they're going to bring a whole bunch of Qur'ans and a whole bunch of pamphlets and stuff. We like to keep it empty, actually, right? And the only thing we have is we have a notebook and a pen, just so we can make sure we jot down people's addresses and phone numbers. Right? That's the way we do it. You can do it your own way, have your own Dawah pamphlets, and maybe your MSA or FSU. Those people who want to give Dawah, maybe you can come up with something, or just how much it would cost, whatever. Everybody in the Dawah community, my MSA can have one, or whatever. And basically, what we would do is, put some things in there, and then we would just walk up people to random people on Dawah Day on the mall. So we would give Dawah for like 30 minutes and talk to all these people, and we weren't having success. We would have like about 15 people, 15 brothers, and then we give Dawah, right? So some of the organizers, they're like, all right, man, we gotta get to the core. We gotta get in the middle where everybody is, right? And because they have some groups have bands and some people are just like talking and stuff. So we're like, okay, there's a stage there. There's about 4 stages, right? So we're like, we got a stage there. How are we gonna get it? How are we gonna get those people, right? So all right, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So okay, we huddled up. We huddled up like a football team, right? Actually, we do this, blah blah blah, right? And we have like what we call stormtroopers, right? Which is fun. It's okay. It's like Star Wars, right? So we have the stormtroopers, or the ones that are not so aggressive, and you guys are going to be out in the crowd, and you're still going to be talking, right? So we're going to take 2 people, we're going to approach the organizers who were running that booth, or that stage, right? So, so there was one guy talking about 4 other people was in the back of the stage, right? So we went and approached them, right? And we were very aggressive, right? We were like, man, you Christians, man. I said, you guys don't watch your stuff, you might be in hellfire, or something like that. So obviously they were like, who are you talking to, us? I said, yeah, you need to come to Islam is the truth, this and that, right? So they got really hot, man. They got really hot, right? So I was like, all right, well, what you guys deny that Jesus is, Savior, this and that. I said, well, so we're trying to eat it. And the one brother, we all had it all the time that was, all right, guys, listen, relax. And listen, why don't we bring it out to the people, right? Let's see what they have to say, right? And they're like, yeah, we're they can't back down now, right? They can't say, well, we're not going to get the stage, right? So it's like, all right. So we have one brother that's like, and we know he's a good speaker, right? And he's stuck to the point. And he's the brother that I was talking about that would, he would work from 9 to 5 and the whole thing, right? So we love him to death. And then it's Khalid, that's not preserved. So he used to be on the table, so we get him on the stage, right? And he did this big thing, and he didn't even care what these guys were talking about. He didn't even debate Christianity. He just gave them Tawheed, right, to the people. And that got people like, wake up, who's this guy, And why are they wearing all these stoves and these funny little clothes, right? For us, that was a benefit because right afterwards, they knew who to come to when they had questions about Islam, right? And I tell you what, after giving that talk, that group of like hardcore evangelist Christians, right? They didn't even had nothing to do with us because they know what just happened. And we just had access to all these different people and give them the message. And then when they turn around and they see people with wearing hard clothes, they know how to ask and continue to ask more questions. Right? So that's something that we did. We stuck to the point here, and then the point was always Tawheed at that particular time. Right? So a lot of the different points in the MSAs when you guys get classes, right? You guys usually have Moses in the Bible or Jesus in the Bible, right? All these different topics, right? We want to make sure that you guys always stick to the point. And whenever you guys talk, you have this program, it doesn't necessarily have to be a great speaker. You know what I mean? If you were to just sit down and just write down a few points, right? You can do just as good a job as giving a dawah as those people that you bring in, right? And in fact, the message that you give may be more effective on the people than bringing like a Yusuf Estes, right? Because Yusuf Estes might come and people will say, oh, he's an outside speaker or whatever. But when they see a student, right, on their own campus saying and speaking and articulating himself properly and talking about a certain topic, it has a much more effect than the university. You can say, hey, listen guys, I'm from your university. Right? I know what you deal with on a day-to-day basis, right? And that affects people's heart more than anything else. Right? So make sure you don't misrepresent Islam, right? And usually, this is really simple. It's not really that difficult, so don't let that linger. Just a simple statement from Imam Malik, when a man come and ask him, a man came to Imam Malik from Egypt to Mecca and ask him some questions. Well, Imam Malik, greatly better this, right? Because I have a few questions, can you ask him? He asked him almost 99 questions, right? And every answer, what did Imam Malik give? So raise your hand. What did Imam Malik give the answer to all those questions? Yeah, Allah Ta'ala. So that was the famous, they would call him the Imam of Allah Ta'ala. That was his nickname, right? Because every time that somebody would ask him, he didn't know the question, he said, I wouldn't know. Okay?
Are you sure it's every question?